and let's get to it. Let's go.
Oh, every one of them's
all right,
fine.
that's okay.
No, my son's in jail. It's not okay.
I didn't say that. Maybe you should just let them know because they're all in tears.
Is there a man here with you? Okay, so I do. I cuss a lot. I cuss in front of them. So look, I cuss a lot.
Every one of them's
all right,
fine.
that's okay.
No, my son's in jail. It's not okay.
Is there a man here with you?
Not here.
Is not a man here with you?
But I'm here. What does that matter?
Because I'm
My son is leaving. I don't care. It's my son.
So tell them
Or you come over here too. They all
but I'll tell them that if they're not doing what they need to do, then yes, there's consequences to that.
Yeah.
If it takes that amount of time for when I tell a kid to do something and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then there is consequences. Like push-ups, like running laps,
Like telling them to get away from your drill.
like telling them to get out of my drill if they're not participating,
Get the out of
doing
your
right,
drill.
get the out of my drill,
I'm not even
get the out of my drill, or whatever it takes to get my drill.
All right, man. Was Marshawn right? Was Marshawn Lynch at this time? I know this is an old video. Was he right or was he wrong about this? Right? Was he right or was he wrong about his approach to this mom? Right? I think this man is spot on. I don't see anything wrong with the way he handled it. Right? Hold on. All right. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the way that Marshawn Lynch handled this situation with this mom. And here's why I say that. One of the first things that he asked is there a man with you? Did y'all see how she reacted to this after he asked her twice? I know. It's not the right question to ask at the time. Is there a man with you? But from one man to another, it's a respectful way to address the situation, because I don't want to say anything to you as a woman that may offend you. Can I talk to the man? Because maybe a man would understand the disciplinarian things that I'm doing or the discipline that I'm doing for these kids. You may not. After he asked her twice, listen how she reacted.
Man here with you? Okay, so
right?
I do. I cuss a lot. I cuss in front of them. So look, I cuss a lot.
Every one of them's
all right,
fine.
that's okay.
No, my son's in jail. It's not okay.
Is there a man here with you?
not here.
Is not a man here with you?
But I'm here. What does that matter?
Boom! What does that matter? Why does that matter if a man is there with you when another man of his stature, right, big stocky guy, is talking to another woman? Why does that matter, right? Let's break this down. Let's make this make sense. Because a man like that who's talking to a woman, it would be intimidating. She may feel intimidated by the way that he says something, right? How many times have you heard women say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it? And so if this man, Marshawn Lynch, big football player, known as the, beast mode, is talking to this woman in an aggressive way, it's going to come out badly for him. He's asking to talk to a man because maybe, possibly, we can de-escalate this whole entire situation from emotion to logic. Right?
Sensational.
And when he asked her, do you have a man? Why does that matter? It matters a lot. It matters a lot. So let me get off that point, right? Because I think y'all understand that, right? I think that was a very respectful way to address the situation, right? Before I talk to you, I want to talk to a man. You know what I did one time? There was a situation that happened with my daughter. This was last year. We went to a cider mill. We went to the cider mill. I came in a little bit late, and my daughter ended up getting hit in the face because this lady was swinging her arms with her phone, hits my daughter in the face, and my daughter literally has a black eye, like a ring around her face, right? So I was really upset. I was really, really pissed about it when I seen her face. My wife told me, but when I seen it, I was like, boom, I seen black. She pointed me over to the lady that did it. You know what I did? I seen that she was with the man. And so what I did to him is I went up to him in the first way, respectful. Hey, man, I need to talk to you real quick. X, Y, and Z just happened to my daughter. Do you know, like, does your wife know, or does your girl know that she just hit her? And the situation got handled very, very well by me talking to him first instead of going directly to her. Because you know what that would have looked like? It would have looked like I was being very aggressive towards a woman. And now this man now has to react like Will Smith, right? And now two men are going towards each other, right? So I know firsthand on sometimes going directly to the man can help. He's trying to do the same thing. Let's get to the next point, right? You know what the next point is? These little kids need discipline. There's nothing wrong, even if he's out there cussing. It may not be the preferred way that you want somebody to talk to you, but your child is also in a football camp with Marshawn Lynch. If you know Marshawn Lynch, you know this is not about to be a very professional type of setting. I'm not saying he's not a professional guy, but I mean, Marshawn Lynch is Marshawn Lynch, but he's going to give your child something to take home and do really well in his sports, right? He's teaching him, hey, if y'all not going to do what I say, there's consequences behind that, and I'm okay with that. I may not want to see that as a parent. I may not want to see that as a father. But at the same time, if he's teaching them something, if they're not doing what he's asking them to do during that football drill, and football is a man's sport, it's a tough sport, and he's teaching them tough lessons. Maybe this is why some of the moms shouldn't be there. Some of the moms shouldn't be there then. Because it's a tough sport. I don't see a problem on how Marshawn Lynch handled this. In fact, I think he was being very gentle with the situation. And at the end of it, he then explains to you why these kids ain't listening. And then they think they can do what they want. And if they don't want to do it, as I say in my football camp that I'm taking time from, right? This is an old video, yes. But this man is a Hall of Famer. He has much better things to do with his time than deal with your children. And he decides, hey, I'm going to spend time here, give back to the hood. Your kids go listen to me. And the moms don't like it. All right. And this is the big difference between parenting when it comes to mother and father. Not saying one is better than the other, but here's the truth. This is why it's important to have a man, because men have a different type of love than a mom, but that discipline is what will save a child from themselves. If you don't have any discipline in that child's life, they will eventually just think that, I can do what I want. Doesn't matter. Right? So let me break this real quick. Let me go upstairs. I gotta check on something. All right. See, I'm multitasking, trying to get kids together, trying to go to the bathroom. But anyways, this was a great way that Marshawn Lynch handled this, right? This could have went sour in a much easier way. If he would have been yelling at her, going off on her, this would have been bad, right? I just think that sometimes moms and mothers don't understand the man's way of doing things sometimes because they only know their way or they believe their way is right. Marshawn Lynch is teaching these kids discipline. They need to understand consequences. They need to understand these things. This generation of kids coming up is so soft, it's ridiculous. They want to give out participation awards for every little thing. They're so coddled. The school program is ridiculous. They want to just basically just make sure everybody is okay. And no one can be good, right? Everybody has to be good. And that's just no longer, right? You either have good, you have medium, and you have bad. And we don't teach that to kids no more. We need to teach kids that if you don't try your hardest, you will not be the best in your class, in the best in your group. You need that. And you need discipline. You need to understand that if you do this, there's going to be consequences behind that. I love the way that Marshawn Lynch handled this. I think that this was a perfect way. And once that lady said, why does it matter? That also told me, see, they don't care about the man. They don't care about why you need to speak to a man and why it's etiquette and why it makes much sense for one man to talk to another man about certain things, right? Some of these women think that they can take over men's roles or understand a man, and it's just not, you just don't get it. Women understand certain things. But when a man is asking you, is there a man here? Can I speak to another man? He's saying, I don't want to talk to you because this is going to be an emotional conversation that goes nowhere. And you want me to bow down to you when I'm trying to teach your children how to play the game of football, which is what Marshawn Lynch is doing. This is all that man was trying to do. So we'll watch the last part of this clip and end it off.
My son is leaving. I don't care. It's my son.
Tell them
Did you walk here too? They all
but I'll tell them that if they're not doing what they need to do, then yes, there's consequences to that.
Yeah.
If it takes that amount of time for when I tell a kid to do something and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then there is consequences, like push-ups, like running laps,
like telling them to get away from your drill.
like telling them to get out of my drill if they're not participating,
Get
doing right,
drill.
get the out of my drill,
I'm not even
get the out of my drill, or whatever it takes to get my drill.
What's wrong? Y'all don't like that? Listen, maybe it's me, right? Maybe it's me. I grew up, my dad had, he put the belt to my behind. I ain't have much room to mess up. And every time I did, I got consequences. It was consequences behind that, right? Me and the leather belt were best friends for quite some time during my teenage years. Before my teenage years, I got whooped all the time, right? Had I not gotten whooped and had I not known the consequences of that, when I got older, I wouldn't have understood that it's important to respect respect your elders, understand that what you do has another part to this. So if you go out there and you want to get into a fight, cool, you can get into a fight. But it's a few things behind that, right? Number one, just not just getting beat up, but you can also go to jail for assault, right? You can end up hurting yourself. You can end up hurting the other person real, real bad. And there's a ton of other things. Do I really want to get into this fight? Because I've gotten into fights before. Is it even worth it? Like, these are things that you start to think about when you've been through disciplines and consequences. And these kids need that tough love, right? And I agree with what my man B-Mac said. Teaching tough love is, I think he was right on all parts. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all, man. Shout out to Marshawn Lynch, man, doing what he does best. We'll get off of this and hit to the next story, man. This next story, I really want to break down this.